Ludus, Vulpes.
Okay. Welcome to Ludus Vulpes. My name's Kirsty.
I'm Phil.
And today we're at Tabletop Scotland with Andy from DMB Games. Hi Andy, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, you?
Good. Well, thank you.
Right.
How's the con going so far?
Yeah, really good. It was really busy yesterday. It was really good. It's so nice to be back. I mean, this is one of our favourite cons of the circuit that we do.
Yeah.
We do sort of 12 to 14 a year, and we drive all the way up from south of London to be up here in Perth. So it's a good 11 odd hour drive, but we've missed it for the past few years while it's not been on. So.
Of course, yeah.
So we're happy to be back. So.
Glad to be back.
That's good.
And back with new toys.
Yeah, actually quite a lot of new stuff across the whole thing. But the major thing is Rosebyrne Manor, our board game, and that I've been working on and off for about 8 years now.
Okay.
And it's actually the reason I started doing the tiles originally, was to try and get some money together to sort of progress the board game.
Yeah. So you can publish the game by selling some of these beautiful tiles.
Yeah, and the idea was that I'd do some of the tiles, sell some of the core sets, make a bit of money to pay for artwork and printing, funding, and then the tiles really took off. And I had to stop working on the board game so much because all the tiles are handcrafted, hand poured resin, hand painted. It's all done. There's no other than a little shaker and some rattle can stuff. It's all done by hand. There's no machinery in the process.
It's a slow process.
Yeah. So which obviously then takes up a lot of time. So I'm not complaining about that at all. It's nice that people like the tiles and they really want it. Yeah. But it did put a little bit of a crimp in the producing the board game thing. But obviously we had lockdown, which meant people weren't playing face to face so much.
Yeah.
So there wasn't such a need for the 3D tiles. And it gave me the chance to finish off the reason that I started in the first place. So and that's what you see in front of you now. So again, I've designed all the cards. I've done all the all of the design and the rules writing and all that sort of stuff.
How does it work? Let's cut to the chase. How does it work? I'm seeing stacks of dice. I'm seeing I'm assuming health crystals, mana crystals.
Yeah, PowerPoints. Yeah. So
PowerPoints,
the way it works is it's a narrative driven dungeon crawling game. Where a guy called Lord Ludus had a big manor built to show off how wealthy and powerful he was. All the dignitaries got invited to a big show-off party at the end.
Of course.
And something happened, they disappeared.
Every one of them?
Everybody that was in the house and grounds of the manor disappeared. So when the people from the village went up to check what was going on, because the noise stopped and people didn't come home, they found sort of half-eaten plates of food, glasses of wine spilt on the floor where people were standing, just everything gone, just as if they just all vanished all at once. So the idea is that the heroes are investigating for whatever reason the hero has for investigating, and each of the hero has a backstory as to why they're there.
Okay.
They're there to help the people of Rosebyrne figure out what happened, and hopefully bring back their missing friends and family safe. So the way the game plays is the players play against the game, although there is a fifth player as a sort of a semi-GM type player, but it's not like a 4v1 game. You're playing against the quest to complete the quest, and the Lord Ludus player is just there so that the monsters have someone to control them, and that it's not a repetitive experience. So the card mechanic is, you see the cards are in front of you, so these cards here. Each character has a power source, which is this one, and a class deck, which is this one. So all scoundrels get the same cards, but the rangers get different cards. So there's a rogue as well, who is a scoundrel. So they will have the same 10 scoundrel cards, but they'll have a different 10 rogue cards. Same with a fighter. There's a fighter and a berserker, so they share the martial deck, but each one has their own specific power cards for their style. And those power cards are driven by these little crystals here, which are the power points. And each one, so each one has a number on them which tells you how much they cost to play. So you've got a bit of a resource management there to make sure that you can't just blat out your cards and ruin things. But so and then one of the actions is you can use all your actions up to get your power points back.
So you kind of rest for a period.
Yeah, exactly. And then the idea is that they're exploring. All of the quests have a big choose your own adventure element to it. So as you're going through the quest, there's read aloud text, choices. Some of them will lead to skill checks, some of them lead to fights, some of them lead to, failure. And then, the idea is that you just start the quest again and try a different option, like you would in a choose your own adventure. In the base game, there'll be the first 10 quests in the campaign arc. And I've actually written 10 chapters of the campaign arc, so 100 quests across the entire campaign arc, which will tell you the entire story of everything that's happened.
Okay.
As long as you play through the core options, so you complete the quests, as it were, you'll find out enough of what happened for the story, so that you
makes sense.
Not necessarily left wanting more. Maybe you will another campaign afterwards, perhaps. But if you were to do all of the options and do all the different side quests and collect all the special cards, then you'll find out absolutely everything. You'll get all the backstory of the characters, and the game actually comes out of a 120-page Rosebyrne background document that I wrote as the basis of the game.
Okay.
So that's where the game started, and it's evolved from there. So there's a lot of lore and stuff buried in the game for people to find. So
they don't have to read through the whole 120 pages. They get to have it in instalments and snippets. They get to see the story evolve.
Yes, exactly.
And how are you publishing this?
Not 100% sure yet.
Okay.
Because of the way it's designed, so it won't be coming with tiles because we already make nice tiles.
Yeah, that makes
but
sense.
I didn't really want to invest a whole bunch of money in getting an artist to draw out, to make me some really nice cardboard tiles to go with it when we already do nice ones. And we're not going to be putting figures into it because there are so many nice figures out there. It uses there's a dwarf fighter, skeletons, giant spiders, goblins, generic,
fairly
normal,
useful fantasy
fantasy monsters. That, and if you're anything like me, I must have over 200 skeleton figures sitting in a box. Not to mention all the other board games that I've got that include those sort of monsters. So the idea is that you can actually play the game on anything with anything. So we actually played, when we were playtesting it, we playtested it on graph paper. With like the glass beads you get from IKEA, just to show the different, just so that we could check that the mechanics work. So you can play it on that, you can play it on the tiles, you can play it on a dry erase mat. So we've got a map deck which this one matches the geomorph tiles that we've made. But the one that comes with the base game will have no picture and no title. So you'll be able to draw in whatever it is you've got. So if you've got some of the other games out there, Descent, Advanced Hero Quest, Warhammer Quest,
you can pick up those
Dungeon
tiles.
Saga, whatever it happens to be, you could draw those shapes in on the map tile and use those tiles while you're playing the game.
Nice.
Or you can just draw in whatever it is you want to draw in as you're drawing out on a dry erase mat.
It's an eco-friendly way of going about it. It's recycling.
It is. But also, with the market, there are lots and lots of very good dungeon crawlers out there, and we're not sure if we're going to go to a Kickstarter or a Game Found or something like that. You really have to do something special with miniatures and tiles to be noticed on those sort of platforms. And I would rather invest that money in making better base components like the crystals, the custom dice mechanic that we've got, which is an opposed success mechanic. Which actually, that's the actual mechanic of the game that runs the game. Really nice artwork, which I reached just over here. So we've already got our artist James Hable to draw us up some of the artwork. So invest the money in that sort of thing.
Great art.
Nicer rule books.
Great assets in the rule book.
Because people already have the other stuff that they need, or in general have the other stuff that they need. There's also a huge amount of great figure companies out there. Most of the ones we've got here are from Reaper. We've got a lot of friends in the industry like Carl at Crooked Dice and Annie at Bad Squiddo that make beautiful miniatures that you can use. So there's no point in reinventing the wheel, right?
Don't
It's
compete
just
where you,
exactly. And I would much prefer someone says, "Oh, where did you get the nice miniature from?" I go see Carl, or go see Annie. It's because they're
it's what they do,
and they're good at it. So why would I bother trying to compete?
Like I say, you're competing against people who have been in the field for years.
And the point is that this and the story is what's important, not this and the figures. Because you can people have got 3D printers they can use. So it's just it didn't make sense to me to do it that way. So so because all you need is the rule books to play it. We're not sure how we're going to get it out there, but all of the cards that you need for the base game will be available to download for free from our website.
That's fantastic.
So you can print them at home. You just literally need to buy the 2 rule books, have some miniatures, and the something to play on, and you can play it. We've also included in the rule book a dice conversion chart. So although we will have nice custom dice. It tells you what you need to roll on a D12 to get the successes, so you don't even need. We could look at an app later on. You're right. But the point is that you just need the books and you can play the game. I'm a gamer at heart, and always have been a gamer at heart. So I want as many people to be able to play the game without having to, spend lots of money on it and repeat what they've already got.
It allows you to bring a really interesting story and an interesting game system to the table without someone spending 120 quid to get it there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Which is a really nice way of doing it.
Accessible gaming.
Does that happen anymore? I see the Kickstarter prices for any game we need. It's going to sort of 250s now.
So we've found a printer in the UK who. So these are actually the map cards are how they're actually the printed cards. Everything else we printed at home. So all these sort of the paler cards that you can see on the table, they're actually just printed. They're the PDF prints that you would get when you download it. So
there we go.
That's that.
Rosebyrne Manor. But there's also the tiles. So it would be remiss to not mention the tiles.
Absolutely, yeah.
I see the subscription service is being advertised. There's buy individual floor tiles at the moment.
Yeah, well, again, because we make them ourselves, in the workshop, we don't have to worry about ordering, thousands of units of the same thing and selling it like that. We put a core set together because it's what we think.
People want it.
And also, it's a good starting point, right? But some people don't want to spend all the money out at once. Some people want something that's slightly different. So we're happy. If you order a core set, we make it and pour it for you. So it doesn't make any difference to me if I'm pouring a Crossroads, 4 L corners and a T-junction, or if I'm pouring 22 by 2s. It's the same amount of resin, it's the same action for me. So why would I argue about giving you what you want? You know what I mean? So
and that bespoke service is kind of like unique almost sometimes in this industry where everything's generic and everything's just pushed out there. And it's really nice to see.
It can be, and it's just nice to be able to talk to people and just enable people to play with the things that they want to play with rather than what they're being made to play with.
I'm just going to go and get the camera and just get down on some of these tiles.
Sure.
Keep talking.
So also set within the Rosebyrne universe, I've written a choose your own adventure book, a novel, which we got 3 samples of this weekend, but it's just something I always wanted to do. Is write. I love the Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone books. It's where I started. All those many years ago.
Those books were great.
Yeah. So I just wanted to write one set in my sort of universe, but again as a bit of an homage to those.
So people can come along and pick those up here this weekend.
Yeah. So what we've got it as a free download. So we've got a QR code that you can scan. And it needs a D12 to play it. So if you download the free sample, you get a D12 for free, so you can play it. So that's here this weekend.
And so, if obviously not everybody's able to come to Tabletop Scotland, so those that can't come to this event, where else can they find your pieces?
On the website, so it's www.dmbgames.co.uk. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. I don't really understand it, but apparently we're supposed to be on it. So yeah, you can get there's all sorts of pictures and stuff on there, as pictures of us making the tiles, of the way the game's evolved, all that sort of stuff. And then we're at a whole bunch of other shows throughout the year, and that schedule's on our website as well. So you can find us, and you can always email us or get in contact with us by chat if you need something.
That's perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Well, thank you.
We really
for
appreciate
chatting,
you having the time to meet with us on another busy day. And we wish you all the very best for the rest of the convention.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye.